Have you been feeling stuck at the starting line or overwhelmed with what it would actually take to finally build and grow a successful coaching business? If so, this episode is for you. I'm going to talk today about how to make small commitments that get big results and actually move the needle for you and your business. I'm Justin Janowski, and this is the Sales Strategies for Christian Coaches podcast. I launched my first coaching business in 2012, got one client, and went out of business. In 2015, I tried again. I got 3 clients and I went out of business. In 2018, I launched for the third time and I did over $250,000 in revenue the first year. A dramatic difference. And the biggest reason for me was I got the right mentors who taught me how to be a successful entrepreneur. They taught me systems around sales and marketing that could actually work. Bringing a Christian lens to those strategies and high integrity and love around building your offers, selling, and marketing is what this podcast is all about. Thanks for joining us today. Like I mentioned before, I really want to today help you narrow in on small commitments that make a big difference and help you get a big result in your business. I know when I was new as a coach, and honestly in my life, whenever something's felt too heavy or too overwhelming, I've oftentimes felt this impulse to avoid altogether. I remember being a kid, and if I missed a couple of days of school because I was sick, and I went back to school, and I got the homework for the day I was back at school, and I got the homework for the 2 days I missed, and I came home from school, and I sat at the table, and I looked at 3 days worth of homework from all my different subjects, I would oftentimes feel like this is too big of a project. I feel too overwhelmed. And my impulse was to do nothing at all, rather than take a bite-sized chunk, because it felt too big. I remember as a coach, feeling distracted by all the different strategies going on in the marketplace and feeling like, oh my gosh, how can I post on all these different social media sites and write a book and have an email newsletter and have a lead magnet and have a podcast and have a YouTube channel and it just felt like so much. And sometimes under the weight of all of those ideas, it was easier for me to do nothing than to take real and necessary action. And so what I want to do with today's conversation is lead you to a place where it feels lighter and easier for you to make small commitments that lead to big results. And here's the shift I want you to consider. So many coaches have a pile of to-dos. So many coaches have a pile of marketing ideas and efforts that are really heavy. And much of what they're focused on are things that don't actually equal new clients and don't actually immediately grow their impact as much as they think they're going to. And if you were to just simplify the problem of growing a coaching business to a single thing, it's this: how many sales conversations you have, how many times you make your offer or invite somebody to your offer is the single greatest indicator of success, of growing income, growing client base, growing impact, greater fulfillment of the mission God has called you to. So much of it comes down to how many times are you making your offer? How many times are you inviting people to your program? How many conversations are you actually having that are sales focused and can lead you to a new client? Everything else is just noise unless it's leading directly to that. And here's what I want you to consider. I know even as I shared this, some of you are like, oh man, that doesn't sound light or fun or easy at all. Sales calls? For some of you, that's the scariest thing that you've done or not done so far in your business. And I want you to know it doesn't have to be like that. This can be done in a way that's loving and fun. Sales calls can be an expression of your coaching. They can be an expression of you giving your gifts to the marketplace, you fulfilling your mission. The sales call can be a fulfillment of the mission God's called you to, where you genuinely help people have clarity and transformation and make big decisions, whether they work with you or not. It can be done really well, and it also doesn't have to be done at shocking degrees of volume for you to get a really great return on the effort. I was talking with our team the other day, and I said, man, most of our coaches, most of our clients would achieve all of their goals if they just made their offer once every week and they made one sale a month. If you just made your offer once a week and you made one sale a month, most of you listening to this right now could achieve all of your goals. I found that the average Christian coach just wants to have an extra $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month or 3 or 5 or 7. Most coaches that are attracted to the work that we're doing at Faith to Influence aren't trying to scale multi-million-dollar businesses. Most of them aren't even trying to scale multi-$100,000 businesses. They're just trying to earn a little bit extra, support their family. They're just trying to have an impact and fulfill their mission. And so if you imagine this for a moment, if you were to hold one sales call a week, or if you were to make your offer one time a week, if you were just committed, no matter what, every single week, I'm going to invite at least one person to my program. I'm going to invite at least one person to my offer. That means that you would have had 50 sales conversations, made 50 offers in a year. That's giving you a couple weeks vacation where you don't make any offers. Maybe you don't make an offer on Christmas. Maybe you pick a family vacation week where you're just out of pocket. But imagine if you were to make 50 offers over the next 12 months. If you're listening to this right now, an invitation is to consider how many offers do you think you've actually made in the last 12 months? If you've made more than 50, you're probably already in a small percentage of coaches and entrepreneurs in the marketplace, and you're already running a successful business. If you didn't make 50 offers in the last year, what would it look like over the next 12 months for you to commit to that single action? One call a week where you make your offer. That probably is a 30 or a 60-minute call. If you took 15 or 30 minutes to send messages to invite people to that conversation, maybe you invite 2 or 3 or 4 people and one says yes. Now you've spent an hour and a half at most each week working on the primary part of your business that's going to lead you directly to clients, directly to income, directly to impact. It can be done in that little amount of time, 90 minutes a week. And if you were to simply make your offer to one person every week and spend that 90 minutes on the core activity of growing your business, after 50 weeks, you will have results. You will have new clients. You will be growing. And if you've designed the right offer for your coaching business, the right signature offer for most coaching businesses is between $3,000 and $15,000 on an annual basis. It's possible, of course, that you could have an offer that costs a lot more than that. It's possible, of course, that you could have an offer that costs less than that. But for a new coach who's just getting started, oftentimes the greatest win-win offer for you and your clients is probably going to be somewhere between $3,000 and $15,000 on an annual basis. And if and when you design that offer, think about those offers that you're making each week, leading to one sale each month into your program. Could you make one sale a month and really focus on that as a goal? And if you were to make one sale a month at a $3,000 a year offer, you've got a $36,000 a year business. And for most coaches, that accomplishes all of their intermediate or immediate or short-term financial goals, a $36,000 a year business. If your offer's $5,000 and you make a sale every month, you've got a $60,000 annual business. If your primary signature offer's $10,000, you can actually have a $120,000 annual business by making one sale a month. And I think people imagine that it's going to be so hard and they're going to have so many sales conversations. But oftentimes it's not that many. It doesn't take that much effort. It just takes a little bit of effort consistently again and again and again to achieve our goals. Now, of course, if you're getting 25% of the people that you have sales calls with to buy your program, you're closing at a really high percentage. And so it's possible that you may need more like 2 sales calls a week over the course of the next year to make one sale every single month. Some people could actually get even a higher percentage than 25%. You know, common closing percentage for coaches, I think, is generally going to be between 10 and 50% of people buying. But there's no question that somewhere between 1 and 3 sales calls per week will lead you to consistency in your business, will lead you to new clients, new income, new impact, and achieving your goals. Could you commit to that? Could you commit to the effort required to have 1 sales call or more per week, to make your offer 1 or more times per week, and just go for that over the course of 12 months and see what happens? Because for most of you, you're going to have everything you really wanted in your business 12 months from now if you simply begin with that. And of course, once you've gone 20 weeks of having a sales call every week and making your offer every single week, in week number 21, this is just easy. It's a habit. It's something that you're used to. You're probably getting referrals. A momentum is building. As you make some sales, your confidence is growing as you're actually working with your clients. So it becomes easier and easier to book that 1 call. And you might find yourself accidentally booking 2 or 3 because of referrals that you're getting, momentum that you're gaining. And so this can have a really positive building effect for you as well. So that's my challenge for you, is to consider taking on that idea of a little commitment to one sales call a week, to making your offer one time a week and inviting somebody to buy. And then having a goal of making a sale, one sale or more every single month. That's a system around sales. That creates the avenue for consistency, for sustainability, and it doesn't require a whole lot of work. Now, I know for some of you, your question is, well, how am I going to hold the sales call? I don't know what to do when I get on that call. Or for some of you, you're like, where are the prospects going to come from? What's the marketing strategy that's going to lead me to these people I'm going to have the conversations with? And we've got a lot of training on that stuff. If you haven't been part of our Christian Coaches Academy yet, we call it CCA, or if you were part of the Academy, but you're not actively a part of it right now, I'd love to invite you to that program where you can have a library of trainings that walks you through step by step exactly how to hold a sales call, how to open the sales call, how to have the conversation, how to make your offer, how to respond to objections, how to close the deal. That library also talks about short game marketing strategies of how you can get calls booked this week. It's $75 a month to be part of CCA, and you get a full library of over 25 amazing trainings on how to build your business. You also get access to a live weekly prayer and networking call, and you get to be part of our directory and community with over 100 amazing Christian coaches and entrepreneurs. I would love for you to join us there, and I would love to give you the skill set development you need and the direction you need to be able to make these small commitments that can get big results for you and your business. If you're interested in learning more about CCA and joining us for $75 a month, you can go to www.f2itribe.com/CCA. F, the number 2, the letter I, tribe.com/CCA. Thanks for joining me today. God bless you all, and I'll see you next week.